All right, welcome back for another Stormgate cast with me, algorithm0r. And again, I'm going to be casting one of my games. So this is a game that I played on the ladder against a Vanguard player here, alherma28, who is playing in the red color. We're playing on algorithm0r, and again, this is a recent game on patch 0.02, early access. We're patiently awaiting the 0.1 release in a little over a week. Here we just have a dog doing that initial harass, and my Hexen just trying to scare him away. And of course that allows me to bring my imp out here to put down my farm, which is a common strategy for Infernal to creep. And it looks like Alherma here is trying to harass me a little bit by just getting, by triggering those creeps, he can get them to target onto my farm. And again, he does that. Now he's doing that. Now he's taking some damage on his, and I decide that I'm going to go ahead and get those fiends out to see if I can get him. And sure enough, I do manage to finish him off, which, while I did have to sacrifice my brute there, it's common that I end up sort of sacrificing a brute here at the end of this battle here. I unfortunately lost one of those fiends. So I did end up with one less fiend than I might normally, but it's common for me to just sacrifice the brute at the end of this creeping session anyways. Up here, while I'm creeping, we see that my opponent has got a barracks up. Looks like he went fast expand, and with the barracks a little bit later, producing his first unit here, which is going to be a Lancer. I'm getting my expansion up as well. Looks like I have 2 vaults up now, and I'm moving over to the speed camp, where again I lure them out with my fiends before engaging, so we don't take that more damaging AoE attacks. Again, trying to save some of my fiends there. Hopefully maybe getting another fiend, and sure enough, continuing. What do we have here? Our Lancers just waiting. There is a strategy where the Lancer can creep. I think a single Lancer can creep the whole thing, but that's something that pros are doing. As just a regular old normal human being out here on the ladder, I tend to opt for the safer creeping myself, sometimes creeping with 2 brutes instead of a single one, just knowing that it's less likely I'm going to mess up my micro and lose that brute. So maybe that's what Alherma's doing here too, is just trying to make sure that he can creep this camp safely. Of course, it's always helpful when that's a healing camp like this, that after you're done creeping you can go ahead and heal up. Now, I've noticed he hasn't creeped any of his camps yet, so I've moved ahead and kind of aggressively to try and creep his speed camp. Again, you can get I'm not sure what I'm doing there. I think I remember having a little trouble microing, trying to get them to attack one of those units, and for some reason they just kept move commanding over there. In any case, I managed to figure it out and got these Shadow Mastiffs killed, claiming the resource bounty, but also claiming the speed boost, which is now a double speed boost. I think they stack. And I see him creeping now. Now this is his heal camp, so as you can see, he's healing there. I try and run around here, and it looks like, yeah, the fiends are going to get us around on this one Lancer, which is actually quite good, as the Lancers in a group can do pretty well, but with that many fiends with that much DPS on you, you're going to go down pretty quick. And it looks like another surround, but that one almost gets away. And finally, it looks like Alherma manages to get one of his Lancers inside of this, whatever these called. Well, it's a buzzsaw cannon now, but these little sentry posts, I believe they're called. And I'm trying to deal damage, while maybe trying to kill a couple bobs. It's not clear if I'm getting to focus down or not. Some of my unit looks like I am focusing, and I do manage to kill that. Although I don't know if that was really worth the sacrifice for me. I'm now sacrificing both my brutes to get some fiends, and it looks like now I'm gonna, oh no, I'm gonna re-engage. Now remember, this health tower was originally captured by Alherma, and I think I just chose to recapture it there to gain some health back. And again, I pulled him away. He's got another buzzsaw cannon up. This does not seem like a well-advised attack, although I'm pushing up the ramp, which is right where his reinforcements land. So this doesn't seem, yeah, there's just not enough here for me to make this work. And really, I should be trying to get that Hexen out of there. Remember, the Hexen can teleport. Oh, there we go. I finally do trigger the teleport, and yes, the Hexen does get away. So there was some damage. Oh, a couple rallied in. What are we going to do with these two brutes? Looks like they're going to run away. No, looks like they're going to push in here. That was a weak Lancer, yes, and that weak Lancer got taken out. That must be another weak Lancer. Oh yeah, another weak Lancer taken out. And then I'm going for the Exo, or we're going to get the Exo. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Maybe with those two last Lancer kills, honestly, that might have been a pretty good harass trade, although I'm feeling that there was a lot of brutes sacked there. Now I'm trying to rebuild back at home. I've got 4 brutes. Looks like I've got this base up, this base, and we're up to tier 2. Greater Shrine. We've got our upgrade very late on my upgrades. What are we going here? Twilight Spire. And back up with Alherma, we have, again, looks fairly fully saturated here. Doing well here with a number of them on Therium as well. Looks like Barracks Tech is the way that we're going to go here, at least for now. And claiming that speed camp finally. And looks like getting some Bobs out to take a 3rd. Now, I'm also taking a 3rd, but my 3rd is in this Therium Rich place, or sorry, not Therium Rich, this is Luminite Rich, where there's 2 Luminite mines here, as well as taking a 4th. I usually just think of this as part of my natural here, to try and get this ore going. Again, for a Infernal player, ore is usually very useful for some of that late game tech. And you see me also setting up some of these Shroud Stones as defense, because in a moment here, as this Exo ball starts getting a little bit larger, that early gain advantage that the Infernals have is going to start to be taken away, and we see them moving out right now. Let's see. They do have their quick draw hustle, and let's see for we do not have upgrades for our Lancers yet, but we do have quick draw hustle, which again is starting to turn this into a powerhouse. And what do we have here? It looks like 7, 8, 9 Exos now. This is pretty good. Now remember, Alherma's taking this tower. That was maybe a little bit interesting strategy. If he had just waited a little bit longer, I would not have seen his units moving up there. The tower would have just been lost. He maybe wasn't looking closely at that timer on the creeps. Instead, it looks like he's going to take the opportunity to get this ore tower, which is good. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting back at home. Now, he didn't choose to re-get that tower, which I think is an interesting choice. Maybe he's headed back to get his health tower again. One thing I'm trying to adapt into my play style is not moving my army around in one ball like this. It becomes useful in the mid-game to try and actually creep more than one thing at a time. He could be out creeping his speed camp with this many units as well as this camp. That just accelerates his ability to make that push, although maybe Alherma here is looking to bring those med techs into the play as well, so he's maybe trying to build that army up a little bit more. At this point, I've got a very interesting composition. I don't think this is your standard creeping composition. 4 Hellborn and some brutes, but those Hellborn have been created precisely to deal with the composition that Alherma has brought to the table, which is his Bio Ball. You need some kind of area of affected damage to deal with them. If you've played Infernals, you know that Magmadons, which is a very popular unit for AoE damage, are not really that good against the Bio Ball, and that's because the Bio Ball has, especially with the upgrades, and let's see here, yeah, we now have our upgrades on our Lancers as well. Do our Medtechs have our upgrades? Not yet, but these upgrades allow them to kite much faster. They're improved movement speed, allows them to effectively take very little damage. Those heavily armored frontliners are going to be taking most of the hits, while the damage dealers, the Exos in the back, are just dealing a lot of damage. These bio balls are known to be very deadly, especially among the Infernal players. And so for at least the last week or two of meta, we've been trying to find ways to deal with it that are not just Hexens with Miasma, which is the sort of the go-to meta for a week or two here in the early access. So like I said, somewhat recently, a shift in this meta has gone towards Hellborns. And I've been trying to practice that in my particular strategies. You'll also notice I'm kind of brute heavy, no gaunts in this mixture. Alherma is still being a little aggressive in the sense that he's moving across the map, trying to push in. And I've got this defense set up here. And it looks like, yes, now I'm responding. You'll notice that this is a Wraith Stone here, which doesn't fire, but does area of effect damage and slows units. And I've got just my Hellborns in the back here. Oh, it looks like some of my units are stuck in this Sim City, and now they're moving in to destroy these towers. This is not looking good for me, although I'm still getting that area of effect damage from these Hellborns that are doing a lot of work here. Again, my Sim City's getting a little bit away from me, but it looks like, yeah, the Alherma, the Vanguard player, is going to want to move away from this. Even though I didn't have a front line there, those Hellborns were doing a lot. 7 Hellborns here, a Hexen and a Brute. Again, not a very standard composition. Well, with this repack of Lancers and now a Vulcan as well. Those Vulcans can be incredibly dangerous. I've had a lot of trouble against Vulcans in the past, and one solution I found to them is the Miasma, because it does % damage over time and does a pretty good job. They're also kind of slow, and they want to stand in a spot and fire their weapon a lot. So the Miasma is a good way to deal with them. Other than that, I'm not super sure, although luckily we're still dealing with mostly a bio ball here with one lone Vulcan in the back, although some dogs and some... Okay, it looks like this time he's trying to push into the health camp. It's sort of an interesting choice, but my Hellborn up here on... Oh, they're derping around. Look at that one Hellborn. Okay, finally, looks like I gave them some specific micro commands to move in here. Luckily for me, this farm... Oh, they killed the farm now, but the farm does a job of... I got another Wraithstone up here, but the farm does a job of keeping possession of that. Again, looks like they're trying to focus these Hellborns, which is really smart stuff, but the area of effect damage is just a lot. They're going to move over. Oh, I got a couple Hexens here. They're not. They didn't cast any Miasma, or they maybe don't have Miasma yet. Guess we could check that out. Usually, I thought it would tell us master training there. In any case, this is not looking good. I'm just rallying brutes in here. Now, I'm not sure why they're not dealing with these Hellborns over here that are doing all the damage. And yeah, now you'll notice I was sacking those brutes, just trying to get some more fiends in there. I got a brute in the back fighting this one Lancer, while my Hellborns are trying to finish off that med tech. Looks like, okay, it was a pretty, in terms of damage, they took out a lot of static D and wiped my army, but that was about it. Now, you'll notice I'm very wary about them pushing along that top there, so I have a bunch of static D here. And it looks like they're going to go this way. Now, I play the Infernal, who have a Magmadon, whose job in my mind is to smash rocks and break trees. I feel almost blessed. What's going on here? Oh, I'm farming this guy. Looks like he's trying to come in to fight him too. I don't think that's a good idea. Oh, and Miasma going down on the dogs. They're all infested. Oh, they're... Oh. Yeah, I don't think that was well advised up on the high ground. I mean, I didn't have a lot backing that up. They might have been able to get that Hexen, snipe the Hexen. I think that was just bad luck for them. Now, you'll notice I'm moving, yeah. I don't know who got the final kill on that. It might have been Alherma. But I went and claimed the reward, which is the little tanky man. And let's see what happens with this push. No, actually, I'm letting the tank go and do its job. I'm going to go fight this one over here. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm trying to do two things at once. They did kill that. That's a very poorly aimed miasma. That's a good miasma. It looks like there's an Atlas up on the high ground there, taking shots at the brutes, and the brutes finally all bust up. I think that was one really well aimed shot. And now I've just got Hellborn here. That does not look like a battle you want to fight. Oh, and another little tank man coming. Again, I don't have a lot to back this up. So, ooh, everyone's on fire. But, yeah, we decided to move away from that. Two very brave Exos saying, nope, we chased them home, boss. They're gone. The infernal menace has been dealt with. Well, how are we doing here? We still got 6 Hellborns. It looks like a small little batch of Hexen. Still a small number of brutes just as a front line. Our third base up here for Alherma, as well as an ore processing unit. What are these called? Scrap yards. Looks like I'm transferring some of my idle drones. Bringing out some mags. Ooh, and a dragon has appeared on the field. And what do we have for an answer up here? Looks like Vulcans are the main extra tech here. I'm not sure if Vulcans have upgrades. It looks like they do, but they do not have those yet. Is there a machine lab? This is a machine lab. And ooh, he's mined out both these bases, and I don't know if I've mined out that one. I've mined out one. And he's working on, okay, so he's trying to get his tech up too. I'm trying to get up, although I think I've had my bases up a little longer. And looks like we're both sort of gathering here in the center. We've given up on that middle passageway here. He's moving forward. Looks like he wanted to regroup before pushing in, and sure enough, I think I want to do the same thing here. I choose the battlefield. We've got a couple stomps going down. Ooh, those look like pretty good stomps with some serious stuns. A ton of fiends being brought up thanks to the dragon breathing down his venom down upon them, infesting everything down below. I don't think I have the upgrade for the dragon, something I have not yet done in my builds. But, oh my goodness, there's like 12 Hellborn back here, 11 Hellborn fighting inside the miasma. We just end up with a deleted army for the Vanguard, unfortunately. And we've got this Expo here, vulnerable now to an attack. It looks like we still have an army. Oh, we've got some Atlases, and maybe the Atlases will help do this. Now, I even got some Shadow Flyers here. Now, those Shadow Flyers are tanking right now. That's not normally what they're there for. But the Exos will target them. And what they're actually there for is in case there's helicarriers, which I assume there might be. Everyone likes those. A couple miasmas going down. That Atlas still doing serious work, but again, I showed up with so many Hellborn. A lot of Fiends now. Ooh, and look at some reinforcements coming in this way with a Magmadon doing the flank. Magmadon flank, surround. You don't see that often. And this is not looking good for Alherma now. And sure enough, that is the end of the game. So thanks a lot for joining me today, and stay tuned for some more Stormgate content.